well, let's say we take a calf crop from these mother cows. So I'm gonna give some terminology. So we have a cow, right? We have cows, we have a herd of cows. We have a cow, right? Which is a cow that is matured and has had a calf, okay? Mother cow, mama, right? All right, so when that cow has a calf, the traditional route at which cattle were sold off of a cow-calf operation is calf is raised by mother for about 7 to 8 months old. That calf is then weaned. We typically recommend weaning, which means basically separating from mother. It can be on its own. It can digest grass, feed, no problem, right? So we wean from mother, and then we typically we may give vaccinations depending on if they're needed, and then we take to usually a local auction or sale, and then those calves are then marketed at that auction. So it's basically whoever's there buying creates that demand for that calf. Okay, so we have those calves going to auction, being auctioned off. As long as you got multiple people that really want them, they'll keep selling higher. Now they do work within the confines of the market, right? They're not going to be like astronomically over market values. People know what the market is because it's set by the Chicago Board of Trade. Okay, feeder cattle, feeder calves. That's the commodity that's traded. Okay, now different areas geographically, they may bring a little bit less money. Okay, so in the United States, all of our feedlots are kind of Nebraska, Texas, a little bit of Oklahoma. So that's where all the feedlots are. Most of these calves are being sold. Let's say I take these calves to auction an hour down the road. A lot of those calves will eventually end up in those states in the feedlots. It's just the way the system works. Current day, calf prices are high because the U.S. cow herd is low. It's the lowest it's been since, I don't know, 60s, 50s maybe. Somebody might have an exact number. The lowest it's been in like 70 plus years, okay? Beef demand is probably high as it's been in recent years. A lot of people want beef. They still, even with the price, they're still seeing a lot of consumption of beef, even at higher prices. People are willing to pay for it. Now, so what we have is we basically got this historical low supply of cattle and this pretty high demand, higher than it's been in recent years, of beef. So we got this offset, okay? And why is the cow herd low? Can anybody give me some reasons?
There's one main reason.
There's a couple, but yeah. Anybody just give me one? Anybody know?
Less people raising cattle. Big industry.
Yep. So, all right, the number of ranchers is one, or cattle farmers. Big one that always comes into play is going to be weather, right? So if you have severe drought in major cattle producing regions, first thing you're going to do is cut their herd, because the land just can't support. If in a serious drought, they just cannot support a large enough cow herd. And so, basically, the foundation of a cow-calf operation is what they're doing right now, eating grass, okay? A feedlot is a different story, okay? Feedlot is, they'll give them some roughage, they'll give them some hay, and they're gonna put them on full feed, full grain, right? And so when we're trying, the cow-calf operator, the cow-calf farmer, the one that's basically out here checking the mama cows, getting them bred by a bull or artificial insemination, calving them out, if they don't have grass and they're having to feed hay or supplemental feeds over and that's what they're relying, they will not make money. They just won't. It costs too much to keep these mamas and the calves, supplemented on basically stored feeds. Okay, so grass is the foundation of cow-calf operation, and so drought, the grass goes away, cut the cattle herd down, and so temporarily it may kind of actually flood the market, but in the long run, you're going to create a shortage, right? Yeah, so a dairy cow and a beef cow, they're not mutually exclusive, right, when we start talking about the industry. So dairy cows clearly we use for what? Milk, cheese, whatever. So most, not saying all, But most, I don't know how long it's been, but over time what they've realized is we have to breed a cow, you know, a dairy cow has to be bred and have a calf to go into milk, right? To produce milk. So, most dairy farms don't have bulls. They use artificial insemination, right? And so it's basically like semen straws, whole thing, it's very technical, but basically they don't need a bull to impregnate their cows for milk production. They can just do it through artificial insemination. Artificial insemination has a lot of technology behind it. There's a lot of genetics. It's literally a catalog that you can go through and shop and say, ooh, this one has great, you know, this bull has great numbers. He has great record. I'm gonna pick him. And then they're gonna ship his semen straws from that bull, or some progeny of that bull, in a nice little tank, and you can literally inseminate those cows to that exact bull that you wanted, that you picked. So what they started doing is picking beef genetics. So Black Angus bull, top of the line, big money. Semen straw, we cross it with dairy cow. It has the calf, we get the milk. Now we have this, what we call dairy cross, beef cross calf. All right. 6-7 years ago, you might get $50 for one. Who wants to deal with that, right? It's a calf, you saw that thing out there bumping you, you got to feed it. And imagine having to feed 100 of them, right? So, you know, you could literally sell a bottle of beef cross dairy calf for $50-100. Now, 800, 900. Yeah, so something that was,
Someone sold one for 12.
yeah, so something that was basically considered a headache, like a byproduct of milk, more or less. Sounds rude, but it's true. Was a byproduct of trying to have a cow and milk, has become this extremely valuable little pain in the butt. And you know, it's worth people's time, right? So something gets more, but that shows you that we are that much in need of cattle, right? On the beef side, that people are willing to like babysit these little high risk calves that, you know, from basically day one. Right. So what we take into consideration is, so we're those cross calves, you know, in a traditional dairy setting, maybe not here, but in a traditional dairy world, you know, that calf's gone first day or two, off on its own, taken care of. So it's going to sell, it's going to be much younger, extremely high risk. So you're talking about $800 to $1,200 on this high risk calf that's only a few days old. Now, if we go to the stockyard or the auction and we buy calves, traditionally or most of the time, they're going to at least be 300 pounds or greater. So they're going to have their legs under them. Mama usually is taking care of them for some period of time. Not always the case, most of the time in a cow-calf world. So let's just say, just to give you some comparative way just to compare it. So let's say we get a 400-pound beef steer at the sale. Right now, I mean, I don't know the current market, but right now, that 400 pound, you're talking pushing $1,600 for that thing. And just to compare that to about 5 years ago, 5.5 years ago during COVID, when all the meat packers, we'll talk about that in a minute, had to shut down because of COVID. I picked probably the worst day ever to sell a calf, because I took 10 calves, 500 pounds, and my check was, oh God. They basically averaged about $400 a piece. I got robbed that day.